Dallas Cowboys rout the Rams. 49ers lose three straight. Steelers struggle without Pickett. Broncos snap a 16-game losing streak to the Chiefs. Lions bounce back versus the Raiders. Episode 9 starts now. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 9 of the Two Dudes podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Freak.
And I'm Babs. Week 8 is in the books, so let's talk about it.
All right, Babs, we're going to start off with last night's game. The Lions bounce back against the Las Vegas Raiders and get back in the win column. This game was,
Blowout.
yeah, I mean, the score really doesn't dictate too much like of how one-sided this game really was.
No, it really don't. I mean, Raiders had 57 total yards.
Yeah, they only had one good offensive drive that scored a touchdown, and it was basically all of Jacobs running the ball, and then their other touchdown came off of a bad throw, which was a pick six.
Mm-hmm. I mean, time of possession alone shows it. Like, Lions pretty much doubled time of possession.
Right. This
Raiders can't figure it out.
no, they can't figure what. Devontae Adams had one catch going into the second half.
He only
I
had one
think
catch all game.
right, and he was only targeted, I think, like 6 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
they obviously the trade deadline is come and gone, and he is still a Raider. But I mean,
I know he's probably not happy about it.
he like they're gonna have to figure something out to convince him to want to stay going into next season. Like, I mean,
Yeah, he's not happy.
no, I mean he even left the field early.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs was asked what the offense needs to do, and he said it's not his job.
He's right.
It's not his job to figure it out.
Not his job. Yeah, it's not his job. He's not the quarterback, and he's not the head coach.
Yeah, they just looked horrible.
Yeah, it was overall question marks for the Raiders. Um,
I mean, the only offense they had was Josh Jacobs.
yeah,
He had 61 yards carrying and 27 in the air receiving. I mean,
pretty much did everything.
Devontae
Mi-
Adams had
You,
one catch for 11 yards.
you might as well have put Jacobs in the Wildcat and let him take the snap.
But on the side note, this man, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Oh yeah, the rookie running back
bro,
for
he had like
Detroit.
200 yards,
Bro,
like
what?
180 or something like that. Dude went nuts.
Yeah, he went off.
They
He
could
went
not
off.
stop him.
Every time he looked up, he was going for like
Bro,
15,
I
20
was
yards.
dying.
Yeah, it was
He had a game.
yeah. That was
I mean, Detroit played solid. Raiders played like complete garbage.
I mean,
So,
definitely coming off of their how bad that they lost to the Ravens. This was a definite huge bounce back. Like
yeah, they had
huge
to take it out on somebody.
for
It was the
Raiders, man.
Raiders.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know who. I think Detroit is on a bye week this week, so
I believe so.
that's good for them to bounce back after only scoring what 6 points against Baltimore. So
Mm-hmm.
huge win for them, and them throwback helmets.
Yo, them things were fire.
Those things are lit.
I like them.
Them throwback helmets were nice. It's been a pretty interesting season with all these throwback uniforms being used.
I'm liking it.
It's going to be interesting to see which team is next.
I like the
Uh,
throwback uniforms.
Seattle wore their entire uniform
Mm-hmm.
throwbacks this week. I don't know if the Lions have a throwback uniform that goes with that helmet.
I don't know, but the helmet was fire.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, the helmet went with the uniform, so. But the helmets definitely stood out. That's for sure.
Yeah, they really did. I like them. I need me one of them.
Mm. Need you a Honolulu blue Detroit Lion helmet?
Yeah, I'm not even a Lions fan, but I'll get the helmet.
Hell yeah. All right, let's talk about the Broncos. They snap a 16-game losing streak to the Chiefs and beat them at, what was it, 26-9? What's the
Mm-hmm.
final score?
24-9.
24-9. Okay. Still, Kansas City had 5 turnovers. 5.
Mm-hmm. I
The
mean,
Broncos had what, maybe 4 all year,
yeah.
and they were able to take the ball away 5 times. Man,
And it wasn't like Broncos offensively were going crazy. I mean, Russell Wilson only threw for 114 yards.
yeah, this is
Like,
bad. It was a bad game for the Chiefs all around.
they got mollywopped.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the first game that they played against the Broncos was pretty much similar. They didn't play that well either.
Mm-hmm.
They only won by a touchdown.
It
They
was like they're
they
playing down to their opponent.
they didn't even score 10 points. They didn't score 10 points. They got
Mm-mm.
completely shut out in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't score a touchdown at all.
Yeah, it was bad.
All field goals. Yeah, it was sad.
All in the first half. Like
Like, you can't lose to teams like this.
no, can't. Like, it's
Like nobody's gonna go. You're gonna lose a game, but you don't want to lose a game to these people.
right.
Like,
I mean, Broncos defense has turned it around past few weeks.
yeah,
They've won 2 in a row. they've given up maybe a combined 20 something total points in these two wins, the last two wins.
Defense is playing good ever since they got 70.
70 points hung on them, yeah.
Yeah,
But
they've been
I
playing
mean,
good ever since that 70.
and you're seeing a different kind of scheme for Russ in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being asked to just sit in the pocket and throw the ball the entire time. He's moving around. They're
I
giving
mean,
him more
hell,
play
Russ
action
had
and
8 rushes for 30 yards.
right, yeah, he's using his legs more often. So I mean, he's starting to get more
Like when
comfortable.
he
It
uses his
seems.
legs, he can be good.
Yeah.
When he's not a pocket passer.
Oh,
He's
He
too
he was
small
he
to
was
be
never
sit
like that
back
in
in the
Seattle.
pocket. The man can't even see over top of the lineman. I'm just saying. He's a better quarterback when he's on the move and out of the pocket.
Yeah, he's not a tall quarterback. He's not
Nah.
one of the type to just sit in the
I
pocket
mean,
the whole
he's
time.
under 6 foot. So I mean, but no, they beat him. I mean, he only had 114 yards passing, but he had 3 touchdowns. So
Hey,
not much you could say. He made him count.
100 and something yards, 3 TDs, and they
But
still
what it
win by more
was
than two
is they were
scores.
running all over him.
Yeah, they ran the
Devontae
ball.
Williams had 85 rushing yards. McLaughlin had 33. Wilson had 33. Like they were just running over him. Nothing they could do.
It was technically the first snow game of the season this year.
Yeah.
Technically.
I mean, he only had 19 passing attempts.
Yeah.
Like,
One of those games that, like, if you're a fan, like, man, I should have just stayed home and watched this.
bro.
Because it was definitely one of them slow, dragged out games, a lot of running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was probably freezing there.
Yeah, it was probably a little cold.
Granted that it snowed and everything, but I mean, hey, welcome to the NFL.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about your Steelers.
Do we have to?
They struggled
At
against the Jacksonville
this,
Jaguars, especially without Pickett. You lose your starting quarterback. It's kind
here's
of
the issue. We had 18 rushing attempts. We threw the ball 43 times.
yep. And it was a downpour. It was raining.
If Pickett started off good, I had high hopes. he started off pretty good. What killed us is him going out. Trubisky, I don't feel is
Y'all had no
and
offense once
nothing.
Pickett got out.
Mm-mm. And the bad part is that Pickett's out this week as well. So that means we're gonna have to rely on Trubisky, which is not something I want to do.
We all know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't have high hopes.
I will
I
say
mean, Trevor
this.
Lawrence played amazing.
Yeah,
He played good.
he played good despite the weather and everything.
Etienne had what 149 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Ingram, of course, Ingram always shows up. I will say this: the DB or safety that stole the terrible towels from the Pittsburgh fans better
yeah, that's not a good look, my guy.
better stay away from Pittsburgh in the offseason.
Yeah, he shouldn't go there.
Because people are gonna have a still shot photo of his face,
And they will fuck him up.
and then it's gonna say wanted.
Low key. It's not even in Pittsburgh. Don't get caught, bro. Our issue was, and
crazy.
can't say nothing against our defense. Our defense plays as good as you can when you can't get off the field. I mean,
Yeah.
our defense did their thing, but time possession, they were up by 10 minutes. Like our defense never had a real break.
No.
Like Trubisky, I don't even know what else to say.
Y'all had a few stops here and there that y'all could have taken advantage of, but that's not the
Trubisky was our
defense's fault.
quarterback.
No. I mean,
Trubisky's our quarterback. Matt Canada's our OC. We
Yeah,
lost.
I mean, you
That's a losing combination right there.
I mean, you kind of called it um, last week or the week before that the Steelers aren't going to fire anybody mid-season,
They're
so
not. They're not
you're
going to. They never.
you're
It's just not their thing.
you're stuck with Canada for the seeable future. Apparently, seems like.
But I did watch a podcast with Ben Roethlisberger this week. I don't know if you saw it. Um, where he said it without saying it that Matt Canada needs to go, and they were asking him who he thinks would be the best option, and it's who I've been saying all along, Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
Like just like Ben Roethlisberger said, he's a good OC. He's played in Pittsburgh. He knows what it means to be a Steeler. He knows what they expect, and he knows what it means. So let's hope this season Matt Canada no longer has a job, and Byron Leftwich does. I don't want to talk about this game anymore.
All right. We'll venture off to the 49ers continue to struggle. They lose their third straight
Third in a row.
to the hands of the Cincinnati
But
Bengals.
but it's not like they lost against a bad team.
No.
We called this last week.
Yeah.
When the Bengals get going, they're a dangerous team.
Mm-hmm. They're a team that
They're
you don't want to.
dangerous.
You don't
and
want
they're
to.
starting to. Oh my god.
I mean,
Wow.
it's clear that the calf is no longer an issue.
No, he
for
made that
Burrow.
perfectly clear.
He was
6 rushes for 43 yards. He made it clear.
Yeah, he was running the ball very well. I don't know. Something's going on with the 49ers. I'm not gonna highlight that it's because they're missing Debo and Trent Williams, but granted, those are their two best offensive players.
That's not
but
an
still,
excuse.
That's exactly. I mean, you have to still show up every week with the people that you have on the active roster ready to play.
San Francisco had more total yards than Bengals did.
San Francisco, their last 3 games, they were projected to win by more than a touchdown. They were more than a touchdown favorites in the last of their 3 games, and they lost by more than 1 score in it 2 out of the last 3.
Mm-hmm. Like this game is really close. Like if you look at it, total plays, Bengals ran some more. Total yards, Niners had more yards. They had more drives. They had more yards per play. They had more passing yards. The time of possession was only 2 minutes different, 3 minutes different. They just couldn't finish a drive.
Mm-mm.
They would make dumb mistakes, through 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean,
dumb mistakes.
Purdy, he threw the ball well and everything, but those mistakes, they led to points.
Yeah.
He threw 2 picks in back-to-back possessions.
Yep.
One that took points off the board for them, and the other is what both of them led to points for Cincinnati. But this game could have been a lot closer if that first pick wasn't there.
You got to think.
It was inside the red zone.
You got to think those 2 picks led to touchdowns, and they lost by 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. He lost the game for the 49ers. Even though he played well throughout the majority of the game, those 2 interceptions led to 14 points, and that was how many points they lost. They lost by 14.
Like those mistakes is what cost them the game. They're playing sloppy. And you can't say it's because it's Debo. No,
it's not.
You threw to Kittle for 149 yards, and you got 109. McCaffrey had 64. Ray McLeod had 43. McCaffrey had 54 yards rushing. They had you got to finish, and that comes down to the quarterback.
Right, and they had the entire week to prepare.
Yeah.
So, that's all I've heard.
And I believe didn't
all day
Purdy
Monday. That's all I heard from these big networks.
Didn't he have a fumble as well?
I'm not sure.
I think he had a fumble. That's 3 turnovers right there, and they're all on him. They're not on anybody else.
Right. See,
I don't know. I don't know if that was a turnover. I know he fumbled the ball. I don't remember if 49ers picked it
right.
up or not. Either way, that two turnovers cost the game. Both of those turnovers were interceptions. So
Right.
that in the end of the day, that's on the quarterback.
Mhm.
You can't put that on
See,
anybody else.
I think this is where where you have players that have their podcast now, especially uh, one that's been extremely vocal. I would say because he plays for the team that I root for, and you already know who I'm talking about, Mike Parsons.
Mhm.
But I've said it before. I don't want him to talk so much, but he does make a lot of valid points when it comes to how the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are uh, talked about and treated in the media compared to everybody else.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Now, Purdy has thrown 7 interceptions in the last 3 games.
Hmm.
Five to 7 interceptions. That is not good. And all I've heard for the past 3 weeks, especially from Dan Orlovsky, is the reason for his bad play is because of Debo Samuel and Trent Williams being out. No,
And there's no
no,
shot.
no. You cannot blame the most important position, his struggles, on an offensive tackle and a wide receiver. He is quarterback. There's been 2 straight weeks to where they knew that they weren't going to play, and they had 2 weeks to prepare for the teams that they were playing against, and they lost by double digits
Mhm.
to both of them. And where he threw two crucial interceptions in both of those games. But we're constantly listing these excuses for all these other players. The reason why I bring that up is a lot of people are just getting tired of it. Like
You got to call it like you see it. I mean,
exactly,
he cost them the fucking game.
exactly. Like you
If
can't.
Prescott cost the game, I'm gonna call him out on it. That's how it goes.
In the 2 games that the Cowboys
But
have
if he wins
lost,
them the game, he should get that credit too.
right? The 2 games that Dallas has lost, Prescott played like shit.
Hmm. And when he plays good, they win.
Right.
It's simple, and it's the
So
same way. It's and that's how it is. That's the quarterback position. If you play good, your team normally wins. If you play like
right,
shit, your team normally loses. That comes with the territory.
exactly. Like so, I'm
Joe
just
Montana, one of the greatest quarterbacks. When they lost, he played like shit.
mhm. I'm
Like,
just gonna repeat what Parsons has been saying the past 2 weeks. Keep the same energy for all these quarterbacks that play like they play well or play like crap and cost their team a game. I, Listing all these excuses because other players were hurt is bullshit.
yeah, there's no reason for excuse. You lost, you lost.
Right? He's the quarterback. The offensive tackle not playing doesn't stop him from throwing those picks.
Like no, I get it that with Debo being out, it's a little harder, or with Williams being out, it's a little harder. But that doesn't make the whole entire team.
No,
Hey, you can step up. Kittle can obviously step up and catch the ball.
no. And
Like,
what's funny is some of their arguments or their explanations for the reasoning why they're giving these excuses. Oh, well, I'm not too worried because they're missing these 2 players. If they'll use the excuse, well, if Dallas was missing Tyron Smith has missed 3 games this year, and we won 2 of them. The only game that we lost that he set was in Arizona,
mhm.
and you can visually see that he was pissed off because he was dressed and he wasn't out on the field. But the 2 games that they had listed him before the game started that he was out and didn't play, we won
Oh,
pretty
well,
pretty
this
pretty handedly.
I don't wanna just change the subject like that. But Kenny Pickett just put out that he's playing Thursday. He
Well,
is
that's good.
playing. They said he was out, but they're saying it's a game time decision. But Kenny Pickett said he's playing.
Well, there you go.
Like I respect that. Like I get like if you're hurt, you're hurt. I get it. Like if he doesn't play, I get it. He's legit hurt. Like I get that. But and this is one thing I liked about Big Ben for so long is the man played hurt.
Right.
Like he may not have played the best. Cool if you're hurt, I get that. But I give respect to anybody who try. Like now, if he goes out there and he's warming up and then don't play. Like
I mean, I think
it's your ribs. Do your ribs.
didn't Ben get in like a terrible motorcycle accident and then play that same week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean he's played with a fucked up leg, fucked up back, fucked up arm. Like
Yeah, Big Ben is the dude was he was an animal.
But they're saying he's going to. He said he's playing. But I did forget that Fitzpatrick might not be playing. Minka. He got it. He came out of the game as well.
Did he have like a stinger or something?
I believe hamstring injury.
Well, let's hope that doesn't linger.
He's questionable. He's probably another day to day. The only reason I think the two of them won't play is because it's a short week.
Yeah.
If it was a Sunday, I could see it, but I really don't think they're gonna play.
Right.
Sorry. That just popped
No.
up.
No. We're good. Because that allows us to get me off of my rant with these other media outlets about their assessments on other quarterbacks that don't play in Dallas. Speaking of the Cowboys manhandled the Rams 43-20.
Yep.
Fun fact, that's the first time that score line has ever happened in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah. 20-43 has never been a stat line. Yeah, they said that. They said that during the Bengals game.
That's weird.
Tony Romo was talking about it. Another fun fact that I can state here. Name the only Cowboys cornerback to have 3 pick sixes in a single season.
I couldn't name one.
Deron motherfucking Bland, bitch.
Oh. Ooh.
The guy that's replaced Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah,
with his ACL injury, so that's huge. I mean, granted, the corners that we've had in Dallas, I mean, when it comes to mine, probably when that stat was brought up today on these other shows, everybody was saying it was Deion Sanders. No one expected it to be a second-year player. I mean, he's out of all the corners, I think his passer rating when being targeted against under 30. I think he's having a really good year, despite being thrusted to the outside to cover.
Yeah.
Either arguably their best or their second best. Oh hell yeah!
That means you're gonna have 2 lockdown quarters next year. Hey, you can't beat that.
I don't think Gilly's gonna leave. I don't think because Gilly played in Indianapolis I think for 2 years before he left.
You can't have too many good secondary players. I'm just saying. You can never have.
Yeah, we can.
You can never have too many good ones.
Right. I mean, you can.
That's just how it.
You can.
Corners get hurt. I mean,
right.
It's.
And I mean, Dallas has had a weird history with corners getting hurt.
Yeah.
We had 2 of them get hurt last year at the end of the season. One of them is no longer there with Anthony Brown. And the other one was our nickel corner and Jordan Lewis. Mm-hmm. So Bland took over Jordan Lewis's spot last year. We probably should have just stuck him outside when Anthony Brown got hurt, but shit. He played well in the nickel corner. Started the season as our nickel corner this year. And it's just transferred pretty well to a pretty good outside corner. Um, got a tough matchup this week though against the
Yeah, let's talk
Eagles.
about this last week against
But
the Rams.
Prescott, man, Prescott. We were talking about that his best game was probably that Chargers game. Dude, he turned around and he just straight up outplayed his last performance.
And I didn't get to watch the game, but I can tell that when he's playing a little more where he's not scared to run.
No, the last 2 games he's used his legs, and that's been an issue for opposing defenses.
When he does that, they're good.
Right.
I mean,
I know this game won you some money.
Held him down. Yeah, this game won me a little bit of money. Honest, there not much to talk about. They got shut down. Rams had no offense. Their Dallas defense shut them down.
No, this was probably Dallas's most complete game. Offense, defense, and special teams all showed up. All showed up.
But I mean, Matthew Stafford's hurt. He's questionable too, I believe, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. With his thumb
sprained on his throwing hand too.
Yeah.
So
kind of like the same thing that Dak went through. I don't know if his bone's broken like Dak's got broken, but it's
Dak
kind of similar.
On his.
Yeah, Dak had a small plate put in his thumb last year.
No, his isn't nothing. It's a sprain. They said it was a sprain. It wasn't no broken or nothing.
Well,
that was just a sprain.
They're fortunate.
Week. Yeah,
they're very fortunate.
Lucky. So right now he's only week to week. So I mean he could play this week. I highly doubt it. But
I was questioning why. So he comes out because of the thumb, gets it taped, goes back in, comes back out, gets it taped even more. You can definitely tell that he's in discomfort. They score a touchdown, and then they do a 2-point conversion where they throw the ball to him, and then he dives into the end zone on his injured hand. I was questioning why they didn't pull him out sooner. Because I mean, you can just tell that he was in discomfort. I know you didn't watch majority of the game, but dude, you could tell every time if he went under center, there was no shot he was going to go under center. And even when the center snapped the ball back to him and he caught it, he winced, he grimaced. So like you could tell that he was in some discomfort. But I'm surprised it's just a sprain, to be honest, with the amount of discomfort that he was in and everything. But hey, I was very pleased. We didn't start off slow. We started off fast, which I was very pleased with. So
yeah, you guys, Dallas is starting to.
We're starting to click.
Starting to catch. Yeah, they're starting to get their.
In our red zone, we were perfect in the red zone. So that's been our only question mark, really. We've been able to move the ball in every game besides one, and that was the 49ers, but shit, we're able to get in the red zone. We just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. And we figured out how to do that this week.
Yeah, no, they played really well. I think they're starting to get their stride.
Mm-hmm. CD Lamb had 15 targets, 12 receptions, 158 yards, 2 TDs. Monster every game. Cooks played well. Ferguson had him.
Yeah.
The first touchdown pass to Ferguson was beautiful. The catch was even better.
Yeah, no, I think they're hitting their stride right now.
Yeah. They're hitting their stride at the right time.
Yep.
And we're to
be in stride.
Yeah. And like I said before, we got the Eagles coming up, and their secondary is kind of questionable. They gave up 400 passing yards to Sam Howell. 400. That's a lot. Especially 2 division games back to back. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be.
That wraps up our games of last week. really the only notable injury going into this episode is unfortunately Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles against the Green Bay Packers, and he is done for the year.
And that sucks because he was playing so well.
Right, and then they've won 3 straight. That they're now
They were
4-4
that was starting to hit their stride.
Right,
Like
it could have come at a worse time for them.
that's unfortunate too. Because Kirk Cousins, I like Kirk Cousins.
Right, he's played pretty well this year, but hey, the trade deadline has come and gone. And the Vikings were buyers, obviously. It was probably spur of the moment, but they traded for Arizona Cardinals quarterback Joshua Dobbs in a conditional 7th round pick.
Yeah, that one kind of threw
from
me
the
off.
Cardinals for a 6th round pick.
That one threw me off. Them going after
Right.
Dobbs.
If I was Dobbs, I would hate Arizona.
Yeah,
I would hate him because he's done nothing but put them in every single game this year.
He's done his thing this year. I mean, he's not played the best, but he's played. Right. He hasn't played horrible. I can't say he's played like trash.
He hasn't played terrible.
But on a good note, Arizona is a team that is literally just playing for picks now.
Yeah.
So him going to Minnesota might be better because it might give him a chance to show that he can lead a team that's good.
Right. I mean, good. Because I mean, you gotta think about it. If Dobbs comes in there and he plays well, and they actually make the playoffs still, this is Cousins last year, and then now he's tore his Achilles. Yeah. Vikings might move on for him.
It might move on, but if they stay with Cousins, it gives Dobbs some ground of saying, look, I can lead a playoff team. You know, I mean, he didn't have good circumstances in Arizona, but he's going into Minnesota. That's a good team, good defense. They got good receivers. They got
Jefferson's most likely going to be back this week.
They got good backs. They're all around a good team. Like they're a playoff contending team. I mean, it's a chance for him to show what he's got, honestly. So it could be good for him. And I like Dobbs because Dobbs played in Pittsburgh for a long time. He was a backup there.
Yeah.
I think we should have got rid of Trubisky and just kept Dobbs, personally. I fucking hate Trubisky, bro. And that's a lot because you know me. I thought when we first got Trubisky, I was happy. I was like, you know what? If he could fit in our offense well, and he hasn't.
Nope.
I had high hopes for that man.
Trubisky hasn't played well since he was in Chicago.
He shit on my high hopes. Shit right on him.
All right, so that pretty much takes about. I guess you could kind of say that was a notable injury.
Jalen Ramsey for the fucking Dolphins. He came back a month ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
From an ACL. And the man had a pick 6 his first game back.
Yep.
What the fuck? Was it? I don't know if it was a pick 6, but I know he had a pick. I think it was a pick 6, though.
Yeah, I think it was pick 6.
But yeah, a month ahead of schedule, the man's a freak.
I mean, look at what Aaron Rodgers was doing. He was out the pregame against for the Jets-Giants game, and he was throwing the ball and moving around with his feet, no crutches and shit. So I mean,
yeah, and they're saying
that's off of 5.
Rodgers
that's 5 weeks off of. Yeah. A lot of people are saying that.
Season.
That's
what's gonna happen if
5 weeks post surgery. Like he's been out of surgery.
If this is gonna be an if the Jets are in a chance to make the playoffs, he'll be back this season.
Oh, definitely.
Like if they're 8-7, he's coming back. If they're in playoff hunt, he's coming back.
Yeah. If they get a wild card spot,
he's gonna take. Yeah,
he's gonna play.
He could be back.
If they make the wild card, he'll play.
That's crazy.
That's why I kind of have like high hopes for the rookie linebacker that Dallas had that got hurt in the preseason. He tore his ACL. Overshawn. Yeah. If everything goes well and we can have a good playoff run, he might be back for the playoffs.
Yeah. it's crazy.
It's
They're
unlikely
coming
for
back from
Diggs.
injuries so much faster now.
Right. It's unlikely for Diggs because his was in the middle of a week 3 to be specific. Um, so we'll see. Um, Bills they traded for cornerback Rasul Douglas from the Packers for a third round pick. So they're shoring up some cornerback depth because they lost Tre'Davious White with an Achilles earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones from the Browns.
That's bro. They got a good deal on that.
Yeah,
For a sixth round pick,
for a 6th round pick.
he's a good receiver.
That's just gonna help them spread the ball even more.
That's gonna make because now like that's gonna open up St. Brown a little more
I mean, he
because
already gets
people
open.
Jones is good. Like I don't know why they would trade him. I feel like he's a better option than Amari Cooper sometimes.
Hmm.
I mean I've watched them play together. I don't know. He I just like him. I think he's a good. It's a good deal for Lions. I would have took that deal all day.
Oh yeah, hands down. The 49ers they traded for defensive end Chase Young from the Commanders for a 3rd round pick.
Her
This
defense is gonna
this
be
one
jacked, bro.
I was kind of mad about because I mean the Niners do have a tough remaining schedule. It's possible that the Niners turn around and they're 5-6. It is very possible that they lose the next 3 as well. They've
Mm-hmm.
got coming off their bye. They've got Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville, Baltimore, maybe Tennessee's in there or something. I don't know, but they have a chance that they can lose. No, they've got Seattle, Baltimore. I think Seattle, Baltimore, and Jacksonville after their bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't easy games, and they can easily lose them. So I don't know. We were talking about it earlier. I think that they're kind of preparing for them to lose some players because they can't afford them,
Yeah,
all of them, any much longer. So, I mean,
that might have been their
third round
third round
pick.
pick's a good pick.
That's a steal because Chase Young was a 1st rounder. So
Yeah, Chase
uh,
Young's good.
yeah,
I was hoping we were gonna get him.
yeah. Neither one of our teams made anything, and I'm not
We
really
didn't make no
surprised
moves.
on my end.
I'm not either.
Jacksonville they trade for guard Ezra Cleveland from the Vikings round pick. So the Jags are shoring up their offensive line. Um, Jacksonville they're pretty much running away with their division, so
Yeah, easily.
it
They're
was
just
kind
trying to
of a no brainer.
yeah they're trying to get steady up so they can make a playoff run.
We already talked about the Vikings trade. The Bears they traded for the other defensive end from the Commanders, Montez Sweat, for a
Honestly, this was
2nd round
smart.
pick.
This was smart for the Bears. I
Hmm.
mean, they got a lot of picks this
Yeah.
year. They got a bunch of picks, I think, this year. So I mean, it was smart. Sweat's good. That's gonna shore up their defense line a little bit. Um, I that so I mean, it's a smart trade.
The Falcons they traded for defensive lineman Contravious Street and the 2024 7th round pick for a 6th round pick
Huh.
from the Eagles.
Okay.
And the Seahawks, they traded for a defensive lineman, Leonard Williams from the Giants, for a 2nd and a 5th round pick.
Damn.
So that
Williams is
wraps up.
playing good too, hasn't he?
Yeah, Williams has played
That's
really well,
good.
so I'm
That's a good pick.
surprised the Giants
I'm
let him
surprised. Yeah,
walk.
they're right now they're playing for picks,
Yeah, I mean, but hey, they got 2 good pick, a 2nd and a 5th round, so that's a good
especially
trade
with
for that type of player. So,
now they're starting two quarterbacks are down. Yeah, now
but
they're just
I
trying to
mean,
get
This trade for me, the Seahawks, they're shoring up their defensive line like the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
They're preparing for a push against the Niners for that division.
I mean, right now they're leading the Niners.
They're a half game up because the
Yeah.
Niners have lost 3 straight,
Uh-huh. So I mean,
and they play each other in 2
smart
weeks.
move.
So,
It's a smart move.
so
Seattle's been because we don't talk about Seattle
I will
much.
go
They've
ahead
been
and tell you.
creeping.
I would go ahead and tell you this. I've got Seattle over the Niners in
I
their
probably do too. The way they've been
in
playing,
their next matchup.
the way the game's been going, yeah, definitely.
Won't even be surprised if I pick Jacksonville Niners after this. Yep. Well, that wraps up the trade talks for this year. Trade deadline is come and gone and ended at 4 o'clock Tuesday.
You know what really got me is like a lot of these names that were out there. Nobody moved them like Brian Burns, Barkley, Derrick Henry, Jerry Jeudy, Sertan, Sutton, Evans, T. Higgins,
Nobody.
DeAndre Hopkins, Renfro. None of these people went, and
Adams.
they had big talks.
None of them were moved.
Like
I think
literally
for any of those big names, if they get moved, it's going to be in the off season. It's going to be off season trades or free agent pickups and stuff like that.
I thought the trades were gonna. I thought it was gonna get a little more spicy before the trade deadline. It really wasn't that much.
I think the team that's going to have the hardest time convincing a player to stay is going to be the Raiders.
Yeah,
because Adams doesn't want to stay. It's clear that he doesn't want to be there, and it's obvious that they don't want to trade him. But I'm pretty sure he's willing to work over a couple $100,000 to not play for them for a year. So, they're probably, if they do decide to trade him, they're going to probably want exactly what they got for him. Which isn't asking too much because he's kind of worth it, but
I was hoping we would have traded Matt Canada.
No. Yeah, I don't even think a team would have given up their last pick draft.
Bro, they
Like,
gotta give up shit. They could.
you wouldn't even be able to trade Mr. Irrelevant for Canada. So you're better off just biting the bullet and firing his.
I wish they fucking would. All right, let's get on to the power rankings.
Yeah, power rankings. We had some shakeups this week.
Yeah, we had a bunch of moving. A bunch of moving and grooving.
Yeah. Rounding up, coming in at top of the list this week. They were ranked second last week. The Philadelphia Eagles. I guess this is kind of fine where it's at. I mean, they're still finding ways to win close ball games. But that secondary is a question mark, and Byard he played against the Commanders for them Sunday. So I was kind of surprised that the Eagles secondary gave up 400 passing yards.
Yeah, right.
Sam Howell, and they've got the Cowboys coming up, and you're not going to be able to give up that many yards and those mistakes against Dallas and expect to win the ball game.
Oh right, yeah.
So gonna be interesting. Who you pick for that game? Coming in at number 2, Miami. They were ranked 4th last week. They handled business. Who do they play? They played New England, of course. Yeah. I have no complaints with them being right there. They'll probably play the Chiefs this week, so depending on how they play against the Chiefs, they'll probably either stay or drop. Speaking of the Chiefs, they come in at 3rd this week. They were 1st last week. They probably could have dropped a little bit further for me. They lost to the lackluster Broncos. That was pretty bad. Pretty bad performance for them overall. Coming in at 4th is the Ravens. They were ranked 5th last week.
They're playing steady ball right now.
They struggled a little bit against Arizona, but
They did. They did.
I mean, like we said, Arizona's played everybody really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
That's the thing is Arizona's not getting blown out. They're playing good.
yeah.
It's just
Rounding up the top five, the Dallas Cowboys, they move up from seventh from last week. Um, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with leaving the Cowboys at five.
I
Um,
think they should be 4. I think they should be ahead of the Ravens.
yeah,
They've been playing more consistent. I think.
yeah. Well,
And their wins
especially
are
the
real
last
good
2 weeks.
wins. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
especially the
really
last.
winning their games.
The only team that didn't move at all this week was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They stayed where they were.
Yeah, fucking
Um,
assholes.
moving on. Uh, the biggest drop this week, 49ers.
Yeah,
Have
I knew that
finally
was coming.
dropped
That's
out
3
of
in a
the
row.
top five. They lost 3 in a row. Lost by 14 to the Bengals. Um, Brock Purdy, he's looking pretty average.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in at
He's looking very basic bitches.
yeah, coming in at 8. The Detroit Lions, they move up a spot from ninth. I could probably see me personally. I'd have the Niners. I'd move the Cowboys to 4. Move the Lions to 5. Move the Jags to 7. Niners to 8, and Ravens to 6.
Yeah.
That's how I'd have it. I think the Niners losing 3 straight. If this was any other team that lost 3 straight, they would be off this list. They wouldn't even be in the top 10. So I would drop the Niners to 8, move the Lions to 5. I think the Lions are better right now than the Ravens, Jacksonville, and the Niners.
Yeah. I agree.
Coming in at 9, Bills. I'm fine with them only moving up a spot. Who'd they play? They play Tampa on Thursday. Um, this was pretty much an easy win for them, even though the score doesn't really dictate that. But they pretty much had that game from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And rounding up the top 10, Seahawks. I wouldn't mind if you swap the Bills and the Seahawks.
No, I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, I wouldn't even me personally, I think the Seahawks should be over the Niners. They're in the same division. The Niners
Yeah,
have lost they've lost 3 straight, and they've got a half game lead over them. So I would put the Seahawks over the Niners for sure. My top 5, I would probably have Eagles, Miami, Chiefs, Dallas, Lions.
Yeah.
You can argue either Lions or the Seahawks. Uh, you'd probably put some people would probably put the Seahawks because they haven't had a blown out loss like the Lions did against the Ravens. So yeah, interesting top 10. Some things that we agree on, things that we would change.
Yeah, it's pretty close for the most part.
Mm-hmm. All right. How did our week 8 picks
Ah.
turn out?
So once again, I won. I went
Yeah.
9-7. You went
Had a
8-8.
feeling. Had a feeling.
So for the year, I'm up 73 to 49 to your 65 and 57.
Woo!
So
Awesome.
you're still losing.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, this is your week. You might get back this week. I made some weird picks.
Yeah. Made some interesting ones too, but we're going to start with our Thursday night game. The Titans travel to Pittsburgh to take on the lackluster Steelers.
Yep. You ain't had to throw the lackluster in there.
I'm sorry, man, but I got the Titans
I'll
on this
fight you
one.
right now. I went Titans too.
Yeah, I got Titans. You actually,
Hell no.
I was
Fuck
about to
no.
say, yeah,
Even if I don't think we're gonna win. I'm not gonna pick against us.
yeah. All right, so I got the Titans here. I don't. I think
Not much you
with
can
it
say about it.
with it being a short week, I don't think even though Pickett said he's going to play, I don't think he
Not, and
does.
if he does, he's not going to be 100%.
No, no.
Rib injuries suck, especially trying
Yep.
to throw a football.
Yep. All right. Our early morning game because it's in Germany at 8:30 a.m.
Oh, that means
Miami.
I get to wake up to football.
Yep. Miami versus Kansas City is in Germany this week. I went Dolphins. I think the Chiefs.
I went Dolphins as well. I don't think Taylor Swift will be there.
No.
So,
Taylor Swift is her tour is getting ready to start, and it starts in
so,
Argentina. So
so Travis Kelsey will be back to normal.
yeah. I don't know. I think with Ramsey coming back, it strengthens that
No,
secondary.
I think the Dolphins just they're both good teams.
But the Chiefs just lost to the Broncos, man.
I know.
Even though it's only one loss, that's a moral defeat. Like fuck all that. And then you got to travel to Germany
Mm-hmm.
and take on a really good team, and their defense is starting to pick it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
scary. All right,
Absolutely.
next game: Baltimore versus Seattle. I got the Hawks here. I think Seattle comes there, and with the addition of Leonard Williams, I think their defense shuts down the Ravens' run game.
Yeah, I did. I went the same way.
At the Hawks too. Word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we've got uh the no longer Joshua Dobbs led Arizona Cardinals. They travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. I went Cleveland here. I got the Browns.
I did too. I don't. What the fuck?
Questionable.
They don't even.
I mean,
like,
is it gonna be?
who's their quarterback?
Is it gonna be Clayton motherfucking tuned, or is it gonna
Like,
be
Like, what are we doing here?
a
They
Kyler
literally
Murray
signed
coming off
Dobbs
of an
because they didn't have
ACL
Murray,
injury,
and then
right?
they trade him. It's dumb.
And then they trade him.
I hope they fucking get blown out. I hope they lose their asses off. I hope the fucking Browns have their third strings in by the second quarter. That's disrespectful to Dobbs.
It was very. Next game, Tampa is traveling to Houston. I got Houston.
I got the Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks. All right, first game that we are choosing different teams.
I mean, we Titans Steelers dummy.
Oh yeah. Well, besides that one, that one. I mean, I'm pretty sure that one was obvious. I'm pretty sure you knew I was
Titans,
gonna.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm pretty sure you knew I was gonna pick the Titans.
I almost picked them.
All right, next game, Chicago travels to New Orleans. New Orleans bounced back last week against Indianapolis. I got the Saints. Yeah, I got the Saints.
Too.
All right, next game.
Although their backup has been playing pretty good for the Bears, I don't think.
Fields is day to day. He's day to day so far, so he's questionable, but we'll see. Next game is the streaking Minnesota Vikings. They just lost their starting quarterback, but they traded for one. They traveled to Atlanta. I got the Vikings.
I went Falcons.
I got Vikings here. I think
my issue is the quarterback. I don't know.
Despite them
I don't think Dobbs
losing,
is going to be ready. And I don't know how well their backup will do. So,
despite them losing Kirk Cousins, they should have Jefferson back this week for this game. They might sit him one more week, no telling. But if Dobbs does get the start, Addison has been playing really well.
No, they're you know what, you are right. I'm going Vikings. You're right.
I trust Minnesota and their coaching staff
kind of sloppy.
more than Desmond Ritter and the Falcons coaching staff.
Yeah,
So
you right. You right. I'll give you that.
next game, the Los Angeles Rams, they travel to Green Bay. I went Rams here.
I went Packers. With it being uncertain if with Stafford playing this week, I just don't. If he don't play, the Rams aren't going to win.
Right.
So
I don't know.
100% went Packers.
I went Rams here for sole reason. Uh, what's his freaking name? I'm drawing a blank on their Packers quarterback.
Talking about Jordan Love?
Yeah, there we go. Love.
Oh, I was like,
Love has played like crap since the first 2 games of the season, and they just traded away one of their corners. So and their best corner really didn't play that well this week. So yeah, I got Rams. Next game, the last of the noon 1 o'clock games. Washington travels to New England. Give me the Commanders. Bum ba bum bum bum.
I did too. The way they played with the Eagles, if they can come out and play like that, I think they smoke the Patriots.
I think this is the last year we see Mac Jones as a Patriot.
Me too.
I think they drafted quarterback this year.
I would.
All right, starting our 3 o'clock games. Indianapolis travels to the 1-6 Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
We finally have every team with a win, at least one win.
Nice.
So, the battle for the number 1 overall pick right now is between Arizona and Carolina. Yeah, I went Indianapolis here.
I did too.
Yeah. Not much to be said there. Next game, Giants versus the Raiders. Giants.
I went Raiders. You know what?
The Raiders are. The Giants defense has played. They have played so well the past 3 weeks. Tyrod Taylor is expected to play.
Is he going to play?
He's expected to play. They haven't ruled him out or anything or questionable.
If he play, my issue is Tyrod Taylor not playing. If he doesn't play, they don't win. If he plays, they can win. They'll win.
Right. I got the Giants here.
All
right. Probably the most anticipated game this week. Dallas, the 5-2 Cowboys, travel to the 7-1, the only 7-win team of the year so far, the Philadelphia Eagles.
You went Eagles?
No, I went Dallas. Dallas is going to win this game by 10 points.
So the Eagles are 7-1 this year.
Yeah, I think Dallas comes in and wins 30-20.
You might hate me this week.
I know you're picking Philly.
No, I went Cowboys. I'm just saying that we got a lot of picks the same.
Yep.
I don't think the Eagles. I honestly feel like
I think their secondary is a question mark.
I don't think this game's going to be very close either.
And especially the way that Dallas has played the last 2 games, especially Dak specifically.
I'm calling Prescott having 3 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Prescott throws for another. I think he has another 300-yard game.
No, I think this is just going to be a fucking battle, but I don't think it's going to be a close game at all. I think Eagles are going to get mollywopped.
Really?
I do. I don't know why. I just have that feeling.
I mean, the last 3 games that Dak has played against Philly, he's 3-0, and he's averaged 27 points in all 3 of those games, 3 touchdowns, and he's averaged over 300 yards.
So here's my thing with they played the Commanders. Commanders put up yards, right?
Sam Howell threw for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I just think I don't know. I just think that Prescott's gonna have a throwing day. I think he's gonna put up yards on him, three
I think
touchdowns.
it's going to be a good game for Dallas. I think it's going to be close at the beginning. They'll probably
Yeah, because
pull
it
away
starts
near the end.
0-0.
Well, I'm talking about the second half. The first half, it's going to be back and forth.
I think the first quarter will be back and forth.
Yeah, it'll be back and forth through the first half. I think Dallas pulls away near the end. We've seen it in pretty consistent weeks here. Philadelphia they're starting to make more and more mistakes in the second half. If you do that against Dallas and Dallas is playing well, at least the offense, and we're moving the ball, that's a problem.
If your defense shows up,
That,
it's over.
that's a big problem.
If Dallas's defense shows up,
If we
got no shot.
If the entire Cowboys team shows up like they did against the Rams, the Eagles stand no chance.
Eagles and Cowboys offense are really similar and close,
Mm-hmm.
but Dallas's defense is way better than Eagles' defense, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
So
Yeah.
it's all going to come down to whose defense shows up. If Dallas defense shows up, then
Our offensive line played really well last week.
yeah, we will see.
Tyron Smith is questionable, so yeah, I got Dallas winning by 10, 30-20. We're gonna take sole command of our division.
I wish I could say that.
We still won't have the best record in the NFC, but that we will win our division. And that right there will give us the number 1 seed. Well, we would be fighting for it with Seattle. Because the only way you get the number 1 seed is if you win your division.
Yep.
All right. Now our Sunday night game, the Bills versus the Bengals. The rematch from last year. This game wasn't played because of the DeMar Hamlin situation. I went Bengals here. I think the Bengals continue on their little ride that they have going on. So,
yeah, I went Bengals as well.
With the Bengals. All right. Monday night, the Chargers versus the Jets.
I went Chargers.
Yeah, I went Chargers here too. I don't know what it is, but Zach Wilson always plays terrible against the Giants. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. It's going to be a defensive battle, like it was for Dallas and them. But I think the Chargers etched this one out 20.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chargers' offense is better.
Yeah.
Than the Jets.
Yep. Jets have a better receiver with Garrett Wilson, but
the Chargers' defense is getting better as the season goes on. So.
Yep. All right, people. That wraps up this week's episode. Anything you want to add, Babs?
I don't think so.
No. Getting close to the time of the year that we've been talking about since the beginning of the season. We're going to give it a couple more weeks. We're still waiting on some things to happen in the background. So we are fully prepared for when we drop that news on you guys. So make sure you guys are following us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, at 2GuysPC. And remember, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. EST, new episode every Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
We love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do your thing. Have a fabulous week and enjoy week 9 football. We're out of here.
Later.